everybody, it's Shannon, and I hope to be getting better about making videos for you guys. And yes, I'm in a onesie because it's cold. Anyway, so a theme that I see in the comments about the videos are BMT related, basic training related, like what hairstyles did you do, or what do you suggest? Is this a good thing to do? Is that a good thing to do? And I thought, why not make a video that kind of covers some of the suggestions that I would give someone who's going to basic training. Please keep in mind that no, I was not natural when I did go to basic training, but I have been in the military with natural hair long enough to know what would have worked and probably what would not have worked had my hair been natural when I had gone to basic training. Also, I went to basic in 2009, so some things might have changed, like as far as what's available to you whenever you go to buy things and stuff like that. So just keep in mind, I'm referencing my experience from when I went. Oh yeah, and the fact that I'm Air Force, and maybe some of the references you might not understand because I'm going to be using Air Force terms, possibly, maybe not the whole time, but that does not mean any of these suggestions won't be helpful or useful for someone who's in a different branch. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've written down some things, so I'll be looking down at my little paper, some of the suggestions that I think would help the transition to going to basic and while you're in basic, just some things to keep in mind. So the first part of this is going to be pre-basic prep. Number one on here, I have get your hair to the healthiest state possible prior to going. So that means deep condition your hair regularly, get it as healthy as you can because you're going to be stressed out. You're not going to be able to take the kind of care and time with your hair while you're in basic training that you would otherwise if you're at home. So the healthier it is prior to going, and when you arrive, the less work or recovery you might have after you're finished with basic training. And that entails deep condition on the regular, detangle, do hot oil treatment, go to the salon, get somebody to do your hair at the salon, and just do the extra pampering to it prior, maybe a few months prior, just to get it prepped and ready for the type of stress you're probably going to be under and the type of stress you're going to put your hair under once you get there. And trim as needed. So don't hold on to those nasty little edges because you want to have that length. If it's done, it's done. Just get your hair healthy. Make sure it's good before you go. Number two, no faddish haircuts so close to leaving. You don't want to do anything to your hair that's going to be so drastic that once you arrive, they're either going to turn you away at MEPS or they're going to insinuate you cutting the rest of your hair off or something like that. So yeah, no faddish. Number three, practice styles and how fast you would do them with minimal tools. The reason I say that is you might not have access to all these different brushes and all these different combs and all these, tangle teasers and all these other gizmos and gadgets. You're probably just gonna have your basic little brush that'll fit in your tray when you get your locker, or a rat tail comb. Start practicing not using so many tools now, like a small little brush like this, for example, something I had in basic. I don't think they have anything like this, but it might be, similar, or a little rat tail comb. The styles that I'm suggesting to practice for basic training are finger coils, flat twists, goddess braids, and the military bun. If you learn how to do anything before you go, I would say the goddess braid. It is the fastest thing to do. It is my go-to when I'm running late. Do a goddess braid on this side and that side. Get your two bobby pins, put them together, and you're good to go. You're good. And if you have trouble flat twisting, start practicing maybe a few months ahead and get it down. There's plenty of YouTube tutorials. And finger coil, if you just don't have the type of coordination or finger coordination to do a flat twist, Do a finger coil. Those things are just as well. And there are some styles that I have that I've done finger coils, and I hope to do after this because I'm gonna get better at the videos, like I said. So practice the speed and what you can do. A goddess braid hairstyle, or a flat twist hairstyle, or the military bun. You're gonna be pressed for time when you're in basic training. So practicing how fast you can do a style now before you even go probably ease some of the stress that you have about keeping your hair natural as you go to basic. And number 4, practice with minimal styling products. When I went, we were able to go to this little bitty mini mart, and they had like the bare minimum because again it is basic training. So they didn't have the eco style, or they didn't have like an ethnic hair section. What I had was for hair gel was like LA looks, something like this. You might see something like this obviously in a small bottle, probably the size of this type of hair gel. You might have a travel size of this type of hair conditioner. So practice using those things on your hair. Like if you are stuck on a certain hair gel, stop using it. A tip I would say is to go find like a little LA Looks, some basic gel, and start practicing on those hairstyles that you've been practicing first. Like try and do a goddess braid with the, LA Looks or whatever hair gel. Practice finger coils with it. Also practice your goddess braid with it and a military bun. So once you know what you need to do in order to have those basic products work for you, I think that again will ease the stress. And the reason why I say to practice these things for time, like maybe try to get it down to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. I think that would be too long. Yeah, try and see if you can get your hair done in, I'm going to say 7 minutes. Like you just got to practice and practice. And you will feel better about going to basics. Like you already know the hairstyles you're going to do, you know how to do them, you know that you can actually use the products that you might only worst case scenario have access to, like something like this. These are all worst case scenarios. Like I said, I haven't been to basics since 2009, so you might have Eco Style, or there might be another hair gel, there might be Amp Pro or something like that that you can use, but you need to practice using those products for time before you even go there, just to save yourself stress of wondering if you can get your hair done fast enough and all of that stuff. Do those things prior. Now I'm moving on to what to be doing during basic. And I have like six little suggestions for what to do during basic. Tie your hair with a t-shirt if needed. What I did was, even though I had relaxed hair, I don't remember having a scarf. So what I did was I would take my t-shirt and I would wrap it around my head, and I would use that to keep my hair in place the entire night. And if you're allowed to get a scarf, do buy a scarf, and you'd be able to probably get 2 or 3 days out of your hairstyle just by sleeping on it with a t-shirt or a scarf, because you won't be messing your hair up at night. And so you can just wake up and you can worry about getting yourself in uniform and getting out the door, instead of, oh, I gotta touch up this, I gotta touch up that. Makes your life a little bit easier. You know, that extra few minutes might be the difference between you being on your face or not. Number 2, do your hair great enough the first time so that it does last about maybe 2 or 3 days. What I mean is you're gonna have time to be up and write your letters after your MTI goes home for the night or whatever, and use that time to do your hair, and I mean do it good. So when you do tie your hair up at night, it'll be good for the next 2 or 3 days. If you kind of rush it and do a sloppy job, you probably end up redoing it anyway during the same day after PT. So do your hair good enough so it can outlast PT And so it can last through the night. And then when you wake up, you're still good. You don't have to worry about it. 3. So what did I write? Okay. So number 3 is just like trying to get that extra moisture in your hair. Leave conditioner on your ends to help with detangling and to help just keep your ends a little healthier. You actually do wash your hair. It's easier to detangle. Your ends aren't totally messed up. It's just something extra you can do. 4. After PT, it's probably a good idea just to do a water rinse, especially if you have, if your hair is just that nasty out of PT and you have to run it through some water. Maybe, just maybe, it might sound a little gross, but again, it's basic training. Don't scrub everything out of your hair. If you have hair gel in it and you rinse through your hair, you're going to have probably some traces of that hair gel left. So that means your hair will still be able to be laid down quite easily after you get out of the shower. Like you dry your hair, it'll still have some kind of stickiness or hold to it. It'll make doing like a goddess braid really, really easy, and you will know that you are able to hold it. Try your best to detangle your hair at night. I'm not saying every night, but on those nights when you're doing your hair, that good first time, like when you do your hair the first time so it'll last, try and do a little bit of detangling. It's just going to it'll possibly save you from having to cut your hair or trim it a lot at the end of basic. So number 6, when you find out you're going to go to the gas chamber or you're going to go to the shooting range, do a goddess braid. Trust me, I'm not going to tell you why, because I'm just not going to spoil it. Wear a goddess braid when you know you're having to go somewhere and put something over your head. Trust me, I plan on getting a lot of thank yous for giving you all this tip. And then finally, some realizations here. Realize stress is going to affect your hair. Which is why I said before you even go to basic, to get your hair as healthy as possible. Stress sometimes manifests itself through our hair. You might have a little hair breakage, might have a little more hair loss than usual. I wasn't bald or anything when I got out of basic, but I mean, my hair definitely had gone through, but it's something that's possibly going to happen, most likely going to happen. It's okay. Just realize it. And then also realize you may need to nurse it back to health once you are out of basic. So don't be surprised if you need to get your hair trimmed or to get it cut. It's okay. It's hair. It'll grow back. First do that preventative maintenance for it right before you get the basic training. So it'll minimize what you have to do to it after you get out of basic. And then also realize sometimes you're going to have to do what you got to do. There might be times where you just can't wash your hair and you need to get out the door. So keeping that hair in for like the 4th day, you might just have to do that. But be careful about mold. Don't allow your hair to be damp too long, too often. Mold will grow in your hair. So when you do have that down day, which is Sunday, make sure you dry everything. Just go through your hair. Make sure you dry everything, but it'll be all right. You'll be good. So hopefully these tips were helpful. I wish all of you who are going to basic training, whatever branch you're in, good luck. And let me know if these tips helped you guys out. I hope they did. And feel free to Instagram me if that's a thing. Tweet me or write something in the comments if there's something else you want me to go over or anything like that, or just any practical questions. Bye.